Hello techies, welcome to IT Tech Solution. Today in this video we will see how we can install Microsoft SQL Server and how we can start writing some simple queries. I will also show you how to download a sample database which contains some of the pre-populated tables which can be used to write some simple queries and learn how to write SQL queries and experiment on that. So let's start. So I'll just download the Microsoft SQL Community Edition. So you can search that in Google, and in the official mysql.com website you will see there is something called as MySQL Community Downloads. Okay, so we'll go to Community Download because this does not require any license. We can use it for learning purpose. From here I'll just download MySQL installer for Windows, and then you can choose the version that you want. So we'll go with the latest version 5.0.37, and then we will download the MSI installer. Okay, so I have already downloaded the MSI installer for this. Just download it and save it in your location. From there we'll run this MSI installer. It will run the process to install Microsoft SQL Workbench. Okay, so we'll just start that. It is asking me now what I want to install. We'll go with full installation because I want all the products to be installed. So it contains different components. We can see that in the next step. So it will install Microsoft SQL Server, Workbench, Shell, router documentation, and some samples and examples. So let's go with everything. So let's start this installer. So I'll just execute it. So it will start downloading all these components, and we can see the progress completion percentage here. So let's wait for it to be completed. So now all the components are downloaded. Let's click on the next. It will start the installation. So here you can see all these components are ready to be installed. So we'll execute it. It will start installing, and we can see the progress completion again percentage here. So we'll just wait for it to get completed. So now the installation of all these components is completed. We will click on the next. It shows me some product information and the status. So ready to configure. Let's configure this. So I'll click on next. It will give some basic configuration. Most of the things we don't have to change anything. We'll just keep it as default. So let's click on the next. Authentication method, it is asking use strong password. Encryption for this is recommended, so we'll keep it as it is as well. We will set the root password, so you can give any password, you should remember that, and then repeat the password, and then I'll hit next. Although even though it is saying as weak, let's go with this because it is my local system. I don't have to worry much about that. And then it is asking some Windows services that I will be using. So service name, let it keep it as default. Start MySQL Server at system startup. That is user preference. You can check and check as per your requirement. And then standard system account is fine. We'll click on next. And I will say yes, grant full access to the user running Windows service if applicable. Okay, let's keep it as it is. Apply configuration, yes, we want to apply all these configurations, so we'll execute it. So it will one by one apply all the configurations. It will set up the database, and then it will start the server, and then it will complete the setup. So here we can click on finish once these are done. So I'll click on finish, and then let's go to next. Then MySQL router configuration, it is saying, so we'll keep it as it is, and we'll just say that finish. Okay, and then we'll go to next for Microsoft SQL Server. This is the port. It is showing all these servers details to connect. So we are okay. Username is this. We'll just give the password that we just now configured, and we'll give it a check. So once I check, connection is succeeded. So system is updated and installed successfully, and I was able to connect to the server which is running at the backend. We'll go and click on next, and then the last steps we will say as execute. It will just configure few of the other things like checking if there are any features installed that need configuration and running script. So finally it will run a final check and complete the installation. So the configuration sample examples was successful, and click finish to continue. So we'll just click on this, and then we will go to next. It is asking me to finish this because it is saying that installation complete. If we want to copy the logs and all, we can copy it here, but let's just finish this. So once I finish, it will start the shell and it will start the workbench as well. So it has launched the workbench also, we can see. Now we'll just click on the local instance that is created for me. So this one is the connection that it configured for us. Okay, so we'll just click on this and we'll give the password that we gave while we were configuring this. Okay, so I'll give that password and let's just connect to it. You can see that there is this editor that opened, and we can see some bunch of options also here. Okay, so there are some management options. Then in that we can see server status. Okay, so if we click on server status, we'll get the current status. Okay, we can, if we want, we can refresh it. So its server is running right now. CPU load it's showing, and what is the traffic and all those things we can see here. Client connections we can see. So these are the connections at the moment, which is the required system connections. Okay, and then other things like user privileges and other things we can see. We can also see the instance details here. So instance start and stop we can see. Currently it is running, so server is up and running. There are logs and option files and other things. Performance we can see dashboard here. So it shows us the different performance parameters. We can monitor all these things. So like for normally in our local system, when we are practicing some, we don't need to bother much about these things. So we can see the tab here where we get schemas. Okay, so I'll just click on this schema. So here we get some default schemas, like this one. If you see, there are some sample tables also present here, and if we click on this, we can see the columns, indexes and other things. We can just browse this, and similarly there are other tables as well. Okay, so we can use these tables as well, customer and other things. So here are these tables which can be used. This is the system schema where we get some system tables. So config sys underscore config table and all, we get it here. Okay, similarly we get some other schema as world, and here we get some sample data again here. So to write any query, what we can do is we can write simple query here. So currently I am into world. Okay, now in this I can write any query. Select star from city. Okay, so let's see what data it has in this. So it gave me all the city names here, and with country code and then districts, all those things, and population. So this is a basic table that they have already given us to use and to play with it. Okay, other than this, there is very good sample table, sample database as well, which we can download and use. We can find it as MySQL sample database download. Okay, and here we can go to mysqltutorial.org. Here you will get the sample database also, which we can download. So this is the sample database which we can download. Open a new editor. Here in this editor, what we will do is we'll just paste all those commands that we got from our sample database. Okay, so here I just pasted everything here. So then we'll just do select all, and then let's run everything. So execute all selection to text. Okay, so it has executed, right? If you see the logs, you will see that everything ran successfully, and it will create the database for us. So classic models now got created. Okay, so under classic models we have certain tables: customer, employees, offices, order details, order payments and all those things. So this sample database also we can very well use to practice the SQL commands and all. So this was all about how to install MySQL Workbench, MySQL Server, and how we can use it to run some basic queries. So that's all for this video. If you like this video, please subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss any informative video that I'll be posting in future. So until then, bye bye.